Hi everyone and welcome back. I haven't done one of these DIY dare videos for quite some time, which is basically trying out a crazy DIY experiment just to see what happens. This time I decided to leave squishies inside hand sanitizer, and the results turned out a lot weirder than you might expect. If you've seen this video, then you remember I tested out different materials to make DIY jelly aquariums. Many people suggested hand sanitizer, and that worked incredibly well. In fact, the jar that I made 2 years ago still looks exactly the same. Of course, hand sanitizer became a huge topic recently, and I remember that I still had a bottle left from 2018. So just in case there are any comments accusing me of wasting hand sanitizer, please remember that the one used in this video was actually bought over 2 years ago. The smell and texture have both degenerated, so I don't think this is even safe to use on skin. I also noticed that a lot of the bubbles have disappeared over time, which makes the gel look much more transparent. The bubbles bothered me in the previous video, so I'm quite pleased that they're gone. A viewer also told me that you can get rid of bubbles in hand sanitizer by warming it in hot water. I'm afraid I can't remember the name anymore, but thank you so much for the tip. I decided to use these two octopus squishies that were made using Hito gel. I also made a few larger bubbles here and stirred some glitter inside. The remaining decoration are pieces from the giant Jelly Worlds tank, and you can watch the full video here. I love the aesthetics of this piece, and there's something really strangely satisfying about squishing the octopus inside the hand sanitizer. And now I realized I made the same mistake as my first video, which was placing the sanitizer inside an open cup. If you do this, then the liquid will evaporate very quickly, and the top layer turns weird and lumpy. So if you want to make these types of jars, then be sure to use an airtight container. I'm just transferring everything over into a different bottle and then leaving it for a few days. My closest guess was that the alcohol would dissolve the paint, so the squishies would look exactly the same without facial features. So I definitely wasn't expecting this. It seems like the squishies have absorbed the hand sanitizer and became much bigger and paler in color. These are so cute and remind me a lot of marshmallows. The texture is super soft and slippery, but not at all sticky. The strangest thing is that the acrylic paint seems to have fused onto the squishy, so you can even rub your fingers over it. This is actually incredibly useful because it means that hand sanitizer can be used to remove the stickiness from DIY squishies without affecting the transparency. So far, the only method was to use talcum powder or cornstarch, but that doesn't work well for clear squishies. After playing with it for a while, I noticed that the gel does evaporate and the squishy starts feeling a bit sticky again. I was so intrigued by this experiment that I decided to repeat it using 2 more squishies. The koala is made from Hito gel, and the seal is made using Sophie and Toffee's squishy gel. I'm curious to see whether the brand would make a difference. I left these in the bottle for a few days and was pretty surprised to come back to this. The first thing that jumps out is that the seal squishy hasn't changed at all. This proves that different companies really use completely different recipes for their squishy kits. I recently found out that Sophie and Toffee's squishy gel is silicone based, but it's formulated in such a way that it won't stick to silicone molds. This makes sense because silicone is non-porous, so it won't absorb any hand sanitizer, which means anything made using squishy gel will remain completely unchanged. I'm not certain about the ingredients of Hitohara gel, but it's definitely more fragile than silicone. Just like the octopus squishies, the koala turned into this weird pale white color. This reminds me a lot of those preserved scientific specimens, and I think this might actually work in a similar way. Hand sanitizer contains at least 60% alcohol and will kill anything that could cause your piece to rot or turn moldy. By the way, this is how the 2 octopus squishies looked after a week out of the bottle. The color is returning back to normal, but the facial features have been slightly damaged by the process. So this experiment was pretty weird but surprisingly useful. I learned that hand sanitizer can be used to reduce stickiness when making clear squishies, and I'm definitely going to use this technique for an upcoming video. I hope you enjoyed this quick DIY, and be sure to follow me on TikTok as well. These jars are also a creative way to display any silicone squishies that you might have at home. The alcohol content ensures that it's not going to get moldy as easily, and you can keep these pieces for a very long time. I'm Joanna, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!